Hello everyone, today we are going to be trying our hand at some bodywork. Now bodywork isn't something that I've done a lot of, in fact I've done very little, but I've got a few little dents and dings as well as some rock chips that I really want to try my hand at improving on. I don't know that I can get them perfect, but there's definitely one little dent that I walk by every time I see the car, and I just stare at it, and it ruins the whole car. So I at least want to try to get that one. There's like 4 or 5 little small dents in this car that I'm going to try to get out today, and we'll see if these products that I've gotten work at all, and kind of give you guys a guide if maybe this is your first time doing it, because it's kind of my first time doing it. So I figured I would just kind of document that and go along with it. So maybe you can either learn from my mistakes or maybe it'll work. I don't know. We'll find out. So I'm gonna get to it. Okay, so I bought a couple things off Amazon. I'm gonna have a link to these two products down below in case you guys want to try your hand at this. One is just a little kit for popping dents out, and then the other one is a heat gun. So I only spent probably $50 on this setup, if that. So it is on the cheap side, but we're gonna see if it works or if it's not worth the money. And if it isn't, I'll tell you. So I'm gonna get started and show you guys first how to identify any dents that you see. Okay, so we're sitting along the side of the car here. The easiest way you're gonna find dents is, one, you're probably already gonna know about them, given this guy right here. But another way to find maybe one, to find them, and then once you start to repair them, see how good your repair is you take a light and then you run it sideways across, and you see how everywhere else but that dent, the light is very straight, and then it's distorted along where that dent is. So our goal is going to be to pull that light out and then pull that dent out, sorry, and then that way that light will not do that anymore. And basically you can just stare at this all the way down the way. There's a few other tiny ones that I have. Let's see if I can point them out to you. Oh, I'm gonna have to find them first. So that's the first one we're gonna work on, and it's right along the body line there. So we'll see how this goes. So the very first step of this whole process is going to be to heat up the paint on the car to about 180, 190 degrees. Different paints are different temperatures, but I have this little thermometer, so I can just blast the thing. It's 82 degrees right now, so I've got about 100 degrees to add to the dent area, and that'll prevent the paint from cracking when we start pulling it. Okay, I'm starting on a really low setting, mostly because I haven't used this heat gun that much to really know what adjustment to be at. So we're going to steadily work this way up. You don't want to keep, all the heat at one spot. You want to move it around as you're doing this. And we're just going to slowly heat this up. And then we're going to check it with our thermometer to see if we have it to where we need it. Okay, we're still been heating for a minute. So I'm going to check the temperature because I don't want this to get too hot. So I'm going to shoot this with my laser at 177. So we're getting pretty close to where we can do the next step of this. I'm going to heat it up just a little bit more, try to get it up to 190, and then we'll go from there. We should be plenty hot by now. There we go, perfect. So I'm gonna move on to the next step. Now, since I'm filming it, I'm gonna have to take extra time and probably reheat this, but ideally you will not have to do any reheating before you go along. So our next step is going to be to basically put our hot glue that we have, it's a special hot glue, on these little tabs. And then we'll put this right onto our dent. So you just want to give it plenty of hot glue. Then you take this and you smush it right on the dent you want to pull out. Now I do have a fear that this is going to be too big for the dent that I'm doing. So the next step is you're going to take this little machine here, and it has a slot that this little tab should slide right into. Like that. Next, we're going to start applying just a little bit of pressure. And you can adjust this to be a little bit tighter if you want. And then we've got to remove that glue spot to see how we did. To give you these little things, I would suggest trying to do this part much quicker than I have. To help get the glue off easier, because this stuff is pretty insanely strong for what you think it is. You know, at first you're like, hot glue, that's not going to hold anything. But it takes a little bit of time, and I'm actually even want to hit this with the heat gun to help make it soft again, to get the rest of this residue that's off. I don't know if you can see that. So do that. Also, you know, make sure your area is clean. That way you're not taking dirt and scratching it into your paint. So, little tip, rubbing alcohol makes that glue come off so much easier. I think I've about got most of it off of the spot I'm worried about here. So let's see if it helped at all. Okay, so it's definitely not dawn. I can still see the light curving around it. It's not as pronounced as it was. So this might be something that we have to do a few times in order to get the dent all the way out. So I'm gonna try this again, maybe one or two more times, and see if I can actually get this to pop out all the way. And I'll let you know what the results are. Okay guys, a couple of observations. This is like my fourth time trying this. I can't tell you that it's getting any better. So what I would say is, if there's a dent along an edge on the body panel, I don't think there's enough give there like there would be in like the center of a door or a hood to actually get that to pop out. I'm gonna try it one more time just for the sake of being thorough, but I have not been very impressed at all. Furthermore, I feel like you're gonna mess up your clear coat. If you're gonna do this, you're probably gonna have to, you know, buff and wax your car afterwards, which is on the schedule for this car anyways, which is part of the reason I tried this. I think had I had a dent in the hood or something, this probably would have worked a lot better. Now, it also probably depends on how thin the metal is on your car. You know, if you've got very thin metal versus a thicker metal, these Subaru Legacies actually have pretty thick metal, surprisingly. But I seem to not be able to get this sucker to pop out at all. At least not in any way that I can substantiate going through this process and spending the money to do so. But I kind of knew that going in, that this was in a goofy spot. And it's just what it is. I think this is one of those that I would be probably much better off taking the door card off from the inside of the car and popping it out versus trying to do it this way. The other thing, if you were going to try this, I would say definitely make sure your car is very, very clean. Because any dirt that's around here as you're scraping this glue off is going to stick and cause little micro scratches, and then you're going to be stuck with a dull spot, but maybe at least you'll get the dent out, but you'll have a kind of a dull spot with scratches around the area. So you don't want to do that either. So definitely clean your car. But I gotta say, I'm not that impressed. This might just be because of my position of the dent, but I'm gonna try this, get this last one off and see if there is any difference made, and I'll let y'all know if I find anything. Okay, y'all. Okay, I think I'm gonna give on this dent right here. I can't tell you that has improved at all. Maybe it's taken a little bit of it out, but it's just not working. There is, however, one more dent I am going to try that may be more set up for this, if I can find it again. But it's more on the center of the panel. There it is. I don't know if you can see it right here. It's not near as bad. So I'm thinking something like that I can definitely get out with this. I just think that other one is too close to this ridge in my door to be able to pop it out. So I'm going to probably take a little break, do some research, make sure I'm not missing anything before I call it on that. But yeah, I'm just definitely not impressed with the outcome of that, if I'm being quite honest with you. The other problem I'm running into is all these dents are a little too small for that plunger size that they gave me. I don't know if they make a smaller one that might be more helpful, but so I'm going to try these other dents and give you a final kind of, this is my stamp of approval or disapproval, but right now it's not looking too good. Okay, so after some work, I've probably done this 10 times. The dent is getting a little better. It's not as deep as it was. So there is some improvement. It's not where I was hoping to get it because it's still pretty visible. But however, I did do another one over here, and it pretty much made it to where it's not visible other than the light. You can still see it kind of bend there. There's one right there that I'm going to try to see if I can pop that out before I give this my final verdict. So I'm going to do this last one real quick and we'll see what we think. Yeah, there's definitely more give in these other panels. I'm gonna scratch that off and see if it made any difference. Okay, I gotta say that while not perfect, this did seem to improve this one. And after doing this about 6 or 7 times, I'd say that that one is somewhat improved, but I don't think I would ever get it all the way, no matter how many times I did this. So in conclusion, what I'm going to say is that this kit works great for dents and dings that are in the middle of a panel, not along the edge line, because what I'm running into is this edge line back there that I think is preventing it from really popping the dent out. On your hood, on the roof, this would probably work a lot better. And it did further into the middle of the panel. It worked just fine. I was also able to hammer down a dent that came from slamming the hood on something that I'm going to be doing some paint correction on with some of the other tools that they came with. So overall, the kit is not useless. However, if you're expecting professional results, I would probably take it to a professional. So all that being said, I saw some improvements, and whether that's worth the money or not is entirely up to you. As always, thanks for watching. I've got a couple other things I'm going to be doing with this car body-wise. I've also got a stereo double din JDM kit that I'm going to be doing and installing soon. And as always, feel free to like, subscribe. If you want further things to happen with this car, feel free to comment, which maybe there's a project you would like to see. Anyways, thank you all. Have a great day.